Hi, my name is Erin Horn. I'm the creator of Dance Anatomy and Nutrition Workshop, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about one of the major questions I've been getting at past workshops, which is flexibility. What is flexibility? Why is it beneficial? And how do I increase my flexibility for dancing? So first, what is flexibility? Flexibility is simply the range of motion that a joint can achieve. As dancers, we know that flexibility is super important in our day-to-day lives as a lot of the skills we perform require flexibility. Okay, so next, what are the benefits of flexibility? So it has been shown that by being more flexible, you are actually less at risk for injuries, which is extremely important as dancers. Also, another benefit of stretching long term. So this means stretching about 10 to 15 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week. This has been shown to increase our muscle strength, endurance, and power, all three which are very important for dancing as well. So last question, and probably the one that you are most curious about, how do I increase my flexibility? So the simple answer to this is stretching. Like I said before, chronic stretching just means stretching 10 to 15 minutes a day, 3 to 4 times a week, which as dancers we easily do. So the best kinds of stretching are dynamic and static. Static just means that you're holding a stretch for a certain period of time and allowing your muscles to slowly stretch themselves out to eventually enhance your flexibility. Dynamic stretching just means you're moving through different stretches and you're not necessarily holding one for too long of a time. This is also really good for warming up your muscles as you stretch. So I'm going to show you a really simple model that I've created to help explain what stretching actually does for your muscles. So right here, I have what I'm going to be calling a muscle. We're going to pretend like all of these individual strands are muscle fibers. So any muscle in your body is going to have a whole bunch of these little fibers all stranded together. So we're just going to pretend like this is a whole muscle. So to make it a little more realistic, let's say that this is your calf muscle. The fancy word for that is your gastrocnemius. So if I am doing elevates at the bar, this muscle is going to be contracting because I am using it to lift up onto the balls of my feet. So this is your muscle in a relaxed position. As your muscle is being contracted, as it's being used, these muscle fibers are actually shortening. Not all of them. Some of them will remain the same, but the more that are able to shorten, the more forceful that muscle contraction is going to be. So let's go back to our resting position. On the other hand, if I'm doing a calf stretch, so say I'm sitting on the ground, I'm doing a pike stretch as I'm warming up. Instead of pulling together, these muscle fibers are actually going to lengthen and they're going to stretch and pull away from each other like that. So the main thing we want to be careful of when we're stretching is that we're not stretching our muscles too far, too fast. So I'm going to look at just one muscle fiber right here. So our bodies have a reflex system in place to prevent our muscles from stretching too far, too fast. Because if this happens, it's possible that we could rip or tear our muscle fibers. This is called the myotatic stretch reflex. So what this consists of, each muscle fiber has a muscle spindle wrapped around it that is monitoring it to make sure that it's not being stretched too far. So we don't want to stretch too fast or be bouncing through our stretches, also called ballistic stretching, because that could make this myotatic stretch reflex happen, which is going to leave our muscles sore and contracted instead of stretched and long and lean, which is what we want for dancing. That's why it's important to slowly stretch. And once we get there, we want to hold that stretch for about 15 to 30 seconds at the least. But if we want more long-term flexibility, we want to hold that stretch up to several minutes. If you are doing dynamic stretching where you're moving through each stretch, we're still going to be moving through those stretches slowly. So you're not going to be bouncing through them like in a ballistic stretch, which we just talked about. Instead, you're going to be dynamically moving through your stretches at a reasonable pace so that you are not making this myotatic stretch reflex occur. Thank y'all for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Feel free to message me if you have any other questions or comments. Please like and share my page and message me if you have any interest in me coming out to do this workshop for your studio. I would love to keep spreading this information and helping dancers become more aware of their health and their bodies.